So this is a webinar and it's my gift to you. So I'm giving you a Christmas gift, and my Christmas gift is to give you a little bit of more space in your life. And I came across this in February this year, and what I found was when I did this, and it's about a capsule wardrobe, don't be scared by it, I found amazing changes happened in my life just from doing this one exercise. It took me about an hour and a half. My head became clearer and I had more time on my hands, and it gave me a level of control in my life that I didn't actually think that I needed. So for those who don't know me, who am I? My name is Sharon Stanford. I was born and living in Australia. I have 3 dogs, a cat, a bird and a partner. Sometimes I think my partner thinks she comes last. And I love watching science fiction films and drinking hot chocolate in the winter. It's too hot to do it now in Australia, but I love it. So I'm an intuitive business consultant. I do kinesiology business balancing. I'm a mindset transformer and a spiritual mentor. I have over 25 years in the esoteric field working with forces and energies. Over 30 years in the corporate business world. I'm a teacher, mentor, guide and friend. And I'm an esoteric kinesiologist and intuitive business consultant, which means that I use a mixture of alternative therapies, intuition and my business background to help people move their businesses forward and move their lives forward. So, are you ready to clear some energy to get ready for 2017? The first time I did this exercise, 3 new clients booked the next day, which I thought was amazing. The second time I did this exercise, I manifested a plane ticket to the USA almost straight away. So I want you to be able to manifest something in your life that you desire. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to clear some space in your life so that you can let something come into you. This is not going to be a hard sell, right? I'm not going to sell you my services, and you will get everything that you need to do this in the webinar. And this is my Christmas present to you, because I get a lot out of the groups and a lot out of working people, and I like to just give back sometimes. And I'm doing this because I think we all need some space in our lives to allow abundance to manifest for us. So what we're going to do, I'm going to teach you how to do a capsule wardrobe, as it's a way of decluttering all your unwanted, unloved, unused, ill-fitting, dated and unmended wardrobe items. So over the course of about 30 minutes and a commitment from you to spend another 90 minutes on yourself, you're going to feel amazing. And you do not have to throw anything out, I promise you. Just 333, and I'll explain what that means in a minute. Your wardrobe gives you a space in your mind, your bedroom, your closet, and your life for new abundance to come in. So how does it work? It creates more space in your head, because that's where most of the clutter exists. And it creates less clutter in your bedroom. It's so nice to walk into your bedroom. After you've done this exercise, I just kept walking into my bedroom because my whole room felt better. Even my house felt a little bit more organised. And I'm going to help you to reduce choice stress. Choice stress is where you have too much choice, and so you end up being paralysed because you can't make a decision. And I'm going to give you more room in your life for choice by taking out some of the place where you spend time thinking, what am I going to do now? Why is this important? Because we're emotional beings connected through our higher level mental states to a soul that is acting on the physical plane. It's quite highfalutin, isn't it? The less we clutter our lives, the more we leave room for the connection and messages to be heard with our higher self. So the principles of feng shui as related to me, because I always sort of take things and put a little bit of me into it. So think of energy being like a river. When we think of rivers, we think them flowing down and moving around corners. As they hit something hard, like a hard rock, they'll go around it. When they hit a nice flat area, they'll spread out and then they'll come back together again. So just like water stagnates, so does energy. So think, energy comes through your front door, enters into your house, enters into all the doors, all the different rooms of your house, and goes swirling around. So does that energy swirl around smoothly, or does it hit these hard surfaces that make it stagnate? If we're respectful of the energy that comes into our life and into our homes, then the energy will actually respect us and will respond in a very healthy manner. And as we take responsibility for how the energy comes into our life, so we're given more to deal with and more to work with. So this means, so say the energy is money, and we want more money to come into our life. If we treat money in a respectful way and just don't throw it away on anything, and take responsibility for it when it comes into our life, then we get more money. It's as simple as that. So what stops us? We have emotional attachment to things. Let me explain to you what that is. When we pick up something, we think about what it is, and then we think about the emotion with it. So you might have something that came into your life, such as a coat, and you bought that coat at a market, and you bought it on this really, really cold day, and you were freezing, and you saw this coat and it was a really great price, and you put it on and you loved that coat. You wore it everywhere, and it kind of became a bit of you. But that was 15 years ago, and you've still got that coat in your cupboard, but you can't throw it out, because every time you touch it, you remember that wonderful feeling that you had when you used to wear that coat. Sometimes we think of things rather than people. We attach ourselves with things. This can happen sometimes when people hurt us. So we transfer our attachment away from people that hurt us onto things that we own. Sometimes we do this when people leave as well. And when you go into an older person's home, ask them about the things in their home. This will be what my granddaughter gave me. This will be what my friend gave me. I can't get rid of these things. Sometimes what we own are our wishes, represent our wishes and our dreams. I own this pair of jeans that I've never fitted into, but they are a size small, and one day I'm going to be a size small. And when I wear that size small, people will look at me and think, my God, she looks gorgeous. And I feel that if I throw those small jeans out, that I'll lose that dream in some way. Sometimes we're unwilling to admit when we fail. Failing doesn't mean we're a failure. It just means that something didn't work. Let's try something differently. So sometimes we'll buy something or we'll have something and we don't get rid of it, because if we did, it might fail. If I went out and spent, maybe $50 or $100 on this dress that I'm going to wear one day, and I never fit into that dress because I'm just never going to be that size, then if I throw that dress out, does that mean I'm a failure because I never got to that size? Or maybe the failure is in buying something with the expectation, the unreal expectation, that I might actually be able to wear it. In those times, forgive and just move on. We all do it. There's not one person in the Western society, I think, that has not bought something and then gone, I'm never going to wear this. Lethargy can stop us moving on. Lethargy is where we can't move forward. And we put things in the too hard basket and we feel overwhelmed. And when you first start this exercise, you may feel this. It's too hard. There's too much to do. But I promise you, if you can concentrate for 90 minutes, you can do this. So what we need to do in preparation. We need to have water with us. We're going to get thirsty because we're going to do some emotional processing. We need 90 minutes of uninterrupted time. That's about a time spent watching a movie at home on Netflix. So this is just the same time as watching a next Netflix movie. So if you can watch a movie, you can do this. How's that? We need some plastic garbage bags, some big ones. You know those nice tough ones that you can buy that you use for the big trash or big garbage? We need some of those. And we need a phone to take some pictures, or a camera, but most people have their phones. So how are we going to start? Are you ready? Going to empty all our drawers and our entire wardrobe onto the bed. Now, the only thing you don't have to empty is your underwear, your sleepwear, and if you have any gym wear, what you would wear for exercising. Everything else goes on the bed. Expect this pile to be big, and it's okay. It really is. Expect the pile to be big because you've been saving clothes for a long time for this exercise. Now take a picture of how big this is. Sarah, you can include the gym wear, the undies and the PJs, but when you think about it, you're only going to end up with 33 items. So if you have 7 pairs of underwear and 7 bras, that's almost half of your capsule wardrobe just taken in bras and underwear. So it's recommended, put your gym wear, your undies and your PJs away. Yep, you got it. Oh my goodness, can you imagine if you had 7 pairs of underwear, 7 bras and 7 lots of socks? That's like 14 socks. That's over 33 items. Oh my goodness, no, we're not going to do that. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to drink some water first and congratulate ourselves on taking the first step. All right. There's going to be a link with this and it will have the PowerPoint link with it. So you can run this as well, and you can keep playing it while you're doing your wardrobe. Okay, sorting into piles. Number 1 is your into wardrobe pile. That's when you pick something up and you look at it and you go, I wear this every day. And you put it on a hanger and you put it in your wardrobe. That's an easy one. The second pile goes to the op shop. These are things that you might have enjoyed wearing. They're really good quality, but honestly, no one is going to buy it. Trust me, no one is going to buy it. These are things like clothes that you're really not going to get much wear out of anymore. And if you went to sell it, I'm telling you, old T-shirts on eBay do not sell unless they're vintage. You might as well donate them. The next pile is your sell and give away. These are clothes that you never wear anymore, but are actually really good quality. Things like I got $15 for a pair of cargo pants because cargo pants sell really good on the internet. Everyone likes cargo pants. My sister is very close to a size I used to be, and I had a lot of very large business clothes. So I piled them all up into a bag and I gave them to her. And then she took what she needed and gave the rest away, and she was really appreciative of some new business suits and some business shirts to wear. So it's sell and give away pile. The last one is, you're going to love this, I told you didn't have to give away anything you want, it's the I'm not ready pile. So if you're not going to wear it, if you can't donate it, if it's not worth selling or giving away, or you just don't want to part with it, put it in the I'm not ready pile. The I'm not ready pile is awesome. Because the I'm not ready pile can hold things like, these small jeans. And yeah, I do kind of be a bit of a failure because I bought them knowing I probably won't wear into them. But maybe I will lose that weight and move into them, and I'm just not ready to let go of them. Well, here is the T-shirt that my mum bought me. and I'm just not ready to throw it away yet, even though I probably will never wear it. Be gentle on yourself. With your wardrobe, hang your hangers facing your way like they do in the shops. So this means that rather than just putting the coat hangers with your clothes in them in the wardrobe, you actually put them in backwards. All of your hangers will then look backwards, and you're going to have 33 hangers in your wardrobe. They're all going to carry everything. So nothing will be in your drawers, everything will be on your wardrobe. Take a picture of your new wardrobe because it's going to feel great. It's going to feel really, really good. Pile 2 goes directly into the boot or trunk of your car, and do it straight away. The process you just did, you set yourself 90 minutes, you push yourself to get through in 90 minutes. Now, the stuff that's going out of your car, put it out of the house. There is an amazing let go, release feeling when you put it in your car, and this incredible feeling that you have when you put it in the Goodwill or the op shop or the charity bin. It just feels great. It's like all of a sudden you did this huge let go. It's an amazing feeling. Pile 3. If you have not sold or given this away in 3 weeks, donate it because you never will. All right, so if you list something on your sale, if you list something in your buy, swap, sell, and you haven't sold it within 3 weeks, really hard, no one's going to buy it. They're just not going to buy it. If you go to give something away and it's sitting at your house 3 weeks later, you're not going to give it away. You're just making excuses. So if it's not sold or given away within 3 weeks, donate it. Pile 4. See, I told you didn't have to throw anything away you didn't want to. Pile 3, put in store for 3 months. Seal these little bags up. Maybe put some cedar balls or some camphor or some mothballs or something in them so the moths don't get in if you don't want them to. And put these bags away. Right, we're not going to touch them for 3 months. So for 3 months, as you wear something, after you've washed it, you're going to rehang it with the coat hanger facing the other way in the wardrobe. That way you'll know what you actually are wearing. Please try not to buy anything, but if you do buy something, then something has to go out. And of course it follows that rule of going out. It can be thrown out, it can be donated, it can be sold, or it can be packed in the I'm not going to look at this for 3 months bag. But you don't end up with 43 items at the end of 3 months. You still end up with your 33 items. Sell or donate those clothes. Get them out of the house. And celebrate how good you feel and what's happening in your life as a result of the easier energy flow. You will feel better, I promise you. I had to keep walking into my bedroom. Even with the wardrobe closed, my bedroom felt clearer. And my head felt clearer. Because when I got up in the morning, what happened was that I would open my wardrobe and I would see everything that I needed to use. At the end of 3 months, we're going to review any clothes on the coat hanger that has not reversed its direction in your wardrobe and ask, do I really need to keep that? So go through the bags and sort. You know those 3 month bags? And see if there's anything there that you want to donate or sell now. What happens to those bags that you kept? Right, those bags you kept for 3 months, you didn't look at them? It gave you internally a process where you began to get ready to let go. No one said that letting go has to happen in the next 2 minutes. Sometimes letting go can take a long time, even if it's clothes. So go through these bags, see if there's anything that you can donate or sell, and yes, you can keep if you're not ready to let go. Maybe there's some things in those bags that you want to take out and put in your wardrobe because some of those coat hangers didn't turn around. Sell or donate those clothes. And then in another 3 months, repeat the same exercise. So what I want you to do at the moment is just sit back. Sit back. Take a deep breath. And let it go. Another deep breath. And let it go. And just breathe normally. And what I'd like you to do is just with your mind's eye, imagine walking into your bedroom after you've done this exercise. Imagine how clean your bedroom looks. You've got a bag of washing with you. You've just taken off the line or out of the tumble dryer. And you go to put it away. And how easy is it to put your clothes away? And you put it up and everything's just hung up. And how neat does your wardrobe look? And then you walk out of the room. How easy was that? Take a deep breath and come back to me. Sometimes some of the things I've talked about can trigger you. There might be something that you're having problems with, or there might be something that you need to actually look a bit further with. So come and find me. In Australia, my number is 0420 220 485, and outside of Australia, you just put a +61 in front of it. You can email me at sharon@sharonstanford.com. How easy is that? You can find me on Facebook under Sharon Stanford Esoteric Kinesiologist. And you can have a look at my website, which is www.sharonstanford.com. I'm going to come back now. Hello. Here I am. I'm back. Hello, everybody. So you're all still on, so you can all still ask questions or you can type in your questions. There's a couple of things about a capsule wardrobe to learn about. One of them is that for some people, they live in countries with big weather differences. Right? In the winter it's snowing and in the summer it's baking. If you have a capsule wardrobe, there's no reason why you can't have two capsule wardrobes where you have a winter one and a summer one and that you actually share between the two. If you have some good clothes, like I have good clothes that a really good dress that I only wear for weddings and engagements and good, those sort of activities. If you have something really good, you can always just not include that in the 333. All right? But only have one or two of those items. We don't want 6 or 7 of them. That's not the idea of the process. And it was amazing. Oh, yeah, Miriam, what would you like?
Can I ask it?
Yeah, go for it.
I wasn't sure whether we were muted. So yeah, I was wondering whether it's per season because where I live, 35 during summer and -3 during winter. I kind of want 2 different wardrobes. But there's also activities I do. So I'm just wondering whether you then count drumming and dancing as part of exercise. Because I have clothes that I wear for Nia, I have clothes that I wear for African drumming for our performances. I have a whole different wardrobe that I wear when I go up north for festivals.
Why don't you put yourself in, why don't you make a 10 bag? And there's a 10 bag for your drumming and a 10 bag for your festivals. Because they're not what you wear every day.
Yeah, because camping is not going to be the same as...
So why not make a couple of 10 bags?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we can be as flexible as we want.
I can just see it stretching.
Yeah, no, be careful. Be careful with the 10 bags. But just make yourself a couple of 10 bags. You really wouldn't take more than 10 things drumming. And you may find that after a while you cut them down. Like put a little safety pin in each of the things in the 10 bag. And at the end of 3 months, go back and see what still has a safety pin on it. Just take the safety pin off the things you're wearing. And at the end of the 3 months, go back and see what's still got a safety pin on it. And if it has, ask yourself, is this something that I'm keeping because I'm attached to it? You know, I wore it to my first drumming workshop and I really loved it because it reminds me of that fire that came in when I first started to drum. Or is this something that, well, I might wear it?
Yeah. Cool.
And if that's the case, put it in the 3 month bags.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come back to it after 3 months, and that gives you 6 months. And you might go, you know, I've let go of it. I don't need to have that anymore. I've moved on with what I'm doing. Because I had little festival dresses. Sorry?
Yeah. Keep going. Yeah.
Because I had little festival dresses and I put them in the put away bag. And when I went back to them, I thought, oh my God, I'm not 25 anymore. Throw that thing out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scarves come under accessories?
I kept 3 scarves and put the rest of them in my big bags because I had trouble letting go of scarves as well. And found that when I went back to the big bags, it was like, no, I don't think I'm going to wear those scarves. You're going to, oh, no, come on, 3 those scarves. You're not going to wear all of those scarves in a month.
No, I wear them based on what colour I feel like.
So if you're doing colour therapy, it would be different. But do you need to have 3 different blue scarves?
They're actually different blues.
You're splitting straws with me.
A little bit, but they are different blues. That's the trouble. So I am willing. I mean, I'm that's part of my culling that I'm got pegged for this week, because there are some I never go to, but they are different colours. So
safety pin them. Because maybe there's some colours that you actually don't need to ever wear again.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, the safety pins are great. Go and buy a little packet of safety pins. And if those safety pins aren't off, then you know it's not something. Sometimes we hold on to things because we might need them.
Be prepared.
Yeah, and that was good when we were brownies and girl guides.
Yep.
But now that we're grown ups and we're no longer brownies and girl guides, this world is big enough that we can share each other's things if we really need them, or we can find them again.
There's enough.
Yeah.
There's enough in the world.
There is enough in the world. And you're holding on to something. All right? Because this is what this is about. You're holding on to something. What are you holding on to? All right. So it was interesting. The first time I did this, I found out that I had 8 black T-shirts. That's more black T-shirts than I can wear in a week. And the reason I had 8 black T-shirts was that my partner once said to me, I love you in black T-shirts and a pair of jeans. So every time I saw a black T-shirt that was cheap, that looked good, I would buy it. And I had no idea I had 8 of them. They were the good ones. They weren't the ones I threw away because they had holes in them. So it's really interesting to be able to go through and say, I could get by with maybe 1 a week, 2 a week. There were clothes that I thought that I would wear, and when I actually started to have a look at what my wardrobe was like when I turned the coat hangers around, some of these clothes I realised that I was telling myself I would wear them when in actual fact I was in a way just making it up for myself because I didn't want to let go. And I found it interesting that some of the clothes that I was keeping were clothes that I wanted from an image. Mm-hmm. It was like I was trying to portray an image of myself rather than really me. So by the second time I did this exercise, I'd started to break down this almost like a veil or a mask that I was making with my clothes I was wearing.
Who we want to be seen as.
Yeah, and I became more authentic. because I was wearing what reflected the inner me rather than trying to make an outer me. So it was very interesting in terms of, this is why I said it frees you up. So instead of making something, you become more you.
Thank you.
Does it make sense to do this in the kitchen? Because I feel like I want to get rid of all these dishes. Like,
you can do this in every part of your life.
Yep.
All right. My partner and I have just had this big conversation because I've been told that I do not need 12 place settings. And part of me went, but what about Christmas? And then I was told that I only do Christmas here maybe once every 3 years. And part of me went, oh, but I like everything to match. So this is hard for me. So I've decided that I'm going to pack it away and I'm going to 6 month that one because I think dishes is going to take me longer. And if I haven't used it in 6 months, it's gone. And part of me is going, I'm going to plan a big dinner party so I can use it.
Is there an energetic difference to doing it with your clothes versus the kitchen?
No, not really, except that your clothes have an attachment to you because you wear them all the time.
Yep.
And so your clothes actually reflect the you that you're trying to portray to society, where your dishes are more of something that you use or that you have around you to project your status in society. It's slightly different. So the clothes are you. So as you start to shed the clothes and you only keep in your wardrobe what you actually wear, what you will find is that you will start to redefine yourself because you're not relying on an outer garb to who you are.
Yep.
I had a really interesting discussion a couple of weeks ago about leadership and what determines a true leader. And we were talking about people who are artificial leaders, people who put themselves into leader positions that they're not really qualified for, tend to wear the most flashy, expensive clothes that you can ever think of. And people who are natural born leaders that people will follow because they have that inner wisdom of a leader tend to just wear things that reflect who they are. And I found this with my clothes, is it started to change. And I started to change because then I was left on myself to pull myself out as who I am rather than try and wear clothes to tell people who I was. So it changes your energy.
Cool.
This is why we have 9 serviettes if one gets... No, that's... Yeah, I know what you're saying, Miriam. 9 serviettes in case one gets ruined. If we were living in the 20s and the 30s, then everybody made things or things were made to last. But in this century, some of the things that we make and do are things that we have so that we can recycle or reuse or repurpose. All right? We're not in the 20s and 30s anymore. Now, there's a couple of good benefits that will come out of this, though. The third world countries are flooded with discarded Western clothing. Not good quality clothing, but discarded Western clothing. So we're using the third world as a dumping ground for everything that we don't want or we get sick of. Is that how we want to think about the third world when we're giving away things for charity or to assist others? You know, I watched a documentary once where a guy who works a lot with Care Australia was working up in Malaysia, and he came across a tribe that not many people have contact with, and this guy came out wearing a T-shirt that said something like, Aussie guys do it better. And the guy didn't speak English. He had no idea what his T-shirt said. But he thought it was great because it had an Australian country on it and he was going to meet someone from Australia. But he had no idea of what exactly. He thought he was wearing something really nice. So we're dumping inappropriate things into third world countries. Whereas we took more responsibility with our buying, then what it was time for us to get rid of or to pass on would be of a better quality. Interesting way to think about charity. Do we want to use charity to get rid of our discards, or do we want to actually give quality things that can be repurposed or reused into charity? Different way to think. That was a bit of a somber note. How are you going down there? Is it Elena? Yeah? Have you got any questions that you want to ask Elena?
It's Ileana.
Elena.
What if we don't have anything to throw out? I know you said we can create a pile, but I already kind of know that I don't want to throw anything out.
Have you got more than 33 items in your clothing?
Yes, I think so.
What would happen if you just put them aside for a little while, just for the 3 months? Would that be okay? You didn't have to throw them out.
What do you mean by that?
Well, if you just went through your clothing and said, these are the 33 items I'm going to keep, and the rest of it I'm going to put in some bags, and I'm just going to put away for 3 months. I don't have to throw anything out. And just gave yourself permission to just wear those 33 items.
Okay.
All right? And then at the end of 3 months, just go through and have a look at those things, because sometimes letting go is a process that takes us a long time.
So why the number 33 again?
It's from something which was started by a woman called Courtney Carver, called the Project 333, which is 33 items in your wardrobe for 3 months.
Okay.
So that's why we stuck with the 33. And that's why I've been a little bit flexible. And I said to Miriam, if you've got, your drumming outfits and your other outfits, maybe make a bag of 10 and then revisit it, because we're flexible. Or if we've got big changes in our seasons, we might want to have some winter clothes and some summer clothes, but we might not necessarily want our winter clothes to clutter up our wardrobe.
Okay.
Yeah, so it is okay not to throw things out. But you do have to go back and have a look at them after 3 months, and then ask yourself, why am I holding on to this if I haven't worn it in 3 months? Why am I hanging on to it? What does this piece of clothing represent for me? And just looking around my desk, what have I got? Something that is cluttering my desk that really I need to get rid of. Here we go. This is a little necklace, right? It's a little beaded necklace, and it's on magnets, right? And I wear it every now and again. But I probably haven't worn it for maybe 2 years, and I found it in my jewellery box, and I wore it last Thursday. But now that I look at it, I haven't worn it for 2 years. I could have worn something else. It's quite nice. Maybe when someone has a birthday, this would be a lovely present to pass on to them. I don't need this anymore. It has great memories. I used to wear it a lot, but I have other necklaces that I wear now, and I don't need it anymore. So I can put it in my 333 jewellery bags and just leave it for 3 months and then revisit it and say, is there a reason for me to keep this anymore? Or can I actually let it go now? And sometimes there's an attachment. Like I still have my old baby rug. Right? It was passed down to me from my mum, and it was my mum's baby rug before it was my baby rug. And that baby rug stayed in our family. Now I'm the 3rd generation. So I probably will never get rid of that baby rug. It will be passed on to someone else. That's okay to do that. All right? Sometimes you hold on to things because there is that. Oh, Miriam, that's okay. I knew you weren't yelling. Does that make sense? Yeah. Have we got any other questions, or are we ready to start?
Sorry, there's flies, and they love my desk, so I'm doing this in the middle of Zoom sometimes.
That's okay. Welcome to Australia, Sarah.
Yeah, thanks. I'd rather have flies than snakes, or like plate-sized huntsmen. So I'm like, it's
You know, I don't like plate-sized huntsmen either.
no, not really my jam.
No, I don't mind the snakes. You can keep the spiders. Oh, Sarah, we're going to go to Australia Zoo one day, and I'll get you to hold Monty Python. He's a 25-foot python. He's absolutely beautiful.
No, I just don't really do snake.
No, you don't have to. Has anyone else got any questions or anything they'd like to know about this process? No?
I'm so excited to start. I have my thing at noon, but like that gives me an hour. I can take a shower, I can put everything on the bed, and then I can make piles.
Excellent. That's the idea. Just do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
It's a Netflix movie time. All right. Are there any more questions or anything anyone wants to know? Yeah. What would you like to know, Miriam?
Oh, I was going to type it. Now that I've worked out how to turn my caps lock off. I guess I'm really curious about the whys of holding on to stuff. And I'm just wondering whether you see any value in sitting with some of those, because, and the reason I'm asking, not so much the how, but whether you see there's value in looking at the whys we hold on to things. And I'm wondering about that, because if we don't address the why some other way, if we don't consciously address the why, we're just going to find another way of doing it, which may just move the holding issue somewhere else.
Yeah, so you're talking about the transference. So what happens is that when there's a time between letting something go and transferring that emotional attachment onto something else. And in that space, sometimes it's called the pause, in that space between action is when the issue is most easiest to be dealt with. Right. So what happens is that you'll actually go through a process. When you pick up a piece of clothing and you hold it and decide what you want to do with it, then what happens is that you actually go through a little bit of a letting go process then. If it is that you're holding on to, and I did this with someone probably about 7 months ago, she couldn't get rid of any of her kids' baby clothes. And what she was holding on to was that she was holding on to when they were babies. And she was holding on to the fact that she was needed and that she was the most important person in those kids' life at that stage. And that she was holding on to the fact now that things aren't so good with her kids and that the kids didn't need her anymore. So it took a while. She had to actually pack them and go through a grieving period. And the grief was for the children who aren't there anymore. So this putting clothes away actually allows the grieving process to go on. There's a grief process that happens. And the reason that I've given you my name and my email address and everything at the end of that is that, and you've got it at the bottom of all your emails, is because sometimes that grieving practice might need some more professional help to go through it, that letting go process. If you're putting everything on your bed and you've got over 100 things on that bed, you're talking about someone who's starting to emotionally hoard. Right? They've got everybody thinking. But you're talking about someone who's starting to emotionally hoard. And if you're emotionally hoarding, there's usually some loss in your life or there's some fear in your life of a gap. So you're filling that gap with things. So it's important to recognise what it is that those things are starting to fill the gap for. And in putting things away, donating them, selling them, or throwing them out, what happens is that gap starts to come forward and then we can deal with it. But it's almost like it's hidden underneath all the clothes.
Yeah, and that's the kind of, it's one of the two things I was thinking of. One of them was around in terms of an addiction, about sometimes buying things is around an emotional expression of your financial independence. So knowing you can spend, there's different reasons why people will go and buy things. And there's also different reasons why people will hang on to things. So for me, with my scarves, part of it was about colour expression. If I wanted to have a particular colour, rather than having 100 different shirts, I'll stick to having white shirts or black shirts, and then I'll just have it add colour to it, because that way it reduced the number of clothes that I had. But I still needed a way of expressing colour. And so now I've got a bracelet which has all the colour on it. So I've always got all the colour. But I had to recognise that to be able to reduce it, to be able to address it, I had to recognise it.
So when you wear black, what happens is you drain the colour out of your aura. So if you're wearing black and just putting colour on, what you're doing is you're trying to, excuse me for saying this, but what you could be doing is trying to control your emotional state.
I wear white shirts.
All right, white shirts are different. White shirts reflect back, so they're okay. In that case, I would bring those scarves into your 333.
Sorry?
If that is the case, I would bring those scarves into your 333 because they're part of your clothing. That hurt, didn't it? But
No.
I would bring them into your 333 for sure.
Yeah.
Because that's just
Sharon,
like.
can you repeat what you? Sorry.
Say again.
Sarah got something about auras and she wants it again. Is that right? Yes.
Should I ask, or can you just telepathy it and just answer? I won't even ask.
Okay. When you wear black, what you do is that you dull all of the colours in your aura, because what you do is that black is an absorbing colour. It absorbs all colours. White is a reflecting colour and it strengthens the aura. That is why when you see people, work high magic, they are quite often in white and not black. And if they're in black, you need to have a look at what is that black representing, because it could also be that they're working in the unconscious. Okay, it doesn't mean necessarily evil. All right, but that's why so if on your body, if you're feeling really, really drained, you put, and Miriam might be able to tell you this because she wears the colours, if you're feeling really drained, you put a colour on your body, you'll feel better. You'll notice people who are depressed tend to wear dark clothes because their clothing is reflecting that loss of energy that they're feeling. Okay, so if your kids are feeling really depressed, then make them wear colour. They won't want to, but it'll bring them out of the depression. And it's why when people go to funerals in the Western countries, they wear black, because they're actually reflecting that fact that they're going through mourning and grief. And remember, in Western countries, you only have one life, so you're mourning the fact that you never come back until the resurrection. Okay, that's why you wear black in Western countries. In other countries, they don't wear black. Or in other cultures, they don't wear black. They celebrate the fact of a life lived rather than mourn the life lost. Except, of course, if you're Irish and then you celebrate anything. Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to ask?
Shoes.
Good. Beautiful.
Shoes.
Beautiful. Send me pictures.
No. Let me type.
In time. You right, Miriam? Shoes. Okay. Shoes are a different thing because, again, shoes come in twos and, quite often we have different boots for different things. I would suggest work with your capsule wardrobe, and what it will do is that when you've been working with it for a little while, it will actually prompt you to start working in other areas of your life. I found, and it was really interesting, about 6 months into my capsule wardrobe, I 333'd my bathroom. And it was amazing. I was so ruthless. I just absolutely stunned myself. It was like every shampoo bottle and conditioner bottle and hair product bottle that I hadn't used for the last, I think it was 3 weeks, I threw. Makeup, everything went. It was like bare again, and it was amazing. And it was just like this. All of a sudden, it was like, oh no, I need more energy in my life. I think I'll clean this one out. That's what will happen with your shoes. It'll be like this. My wardrobe feels so good, and I feel so good opening it every morning and just going bang, 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 I'm dressed, rather than I have to pull everything out because I can't find that pair of pants that I want to wear, is that you will start to go, oh, why have I got so many shoes? I never wear them. And it will just start, it starts the whole ball rolling, because your inners get changed, your energy starts to change, you start to feel that movement within you, and of course it's like it's electric, and it starts to infiltrate into other parts of your life.
Cool.
So it's lots of fun. You got it. Wait till you do your emails. You're going to be amazed. Okay. I did something like, I think it was over 5,000 emails I got rid of over 5 days.
I just deleted all my Facebook Messenger messages, all of them, except for like the 3 people who I was corresponding with right then.
Yeah. It's amazing. So you were going to have a ball. You were going to find more energy. You're going to find all of a sudden this clearer direction. It feels good. If you want some ideas of how things coordinate, just jump onto Pinterest and look up 333 or Capsule Wardrobe. Pinterest has heaps and heaps of suggestions and ideas. But you're both mature women. You've got an idea of your style anyway. You may find your style slightly changes because you've got less clothes to pick from, so you tend to wear the same. We worry about people seeing us in the same clothes every day. And honestly, everyone's so self-absorbed they never notice.
But the thing is, I'm not the same. And that's why I've been conscious of my wardrobe before, and, you know, this version and that version, because there's so many versions of me. And part of the reason I know I have so much stuff, so many clothes, is because I'm expressing different versions of me. So I can feel some resistance coming up about reducing it, because I mean 333, like 33 items, you know, could be 5 pairs of pants, 5 skirts, like for summer. If I just look at summer, you know, it's say 30, there's 6 30s, 5 6s.
A 36.
5 6s is 5 6s is 30. 6 5s are 30, yeah. So if I had, you know, 6 5, if I do it in that, if I had 6 pairs of pants, 6 shirts, 6 t-shirts, 3 skirts and 3 shorts, and 6 something else's. Yeah, I feel like, you know, there's different versions of me. So I don't know, that might be good.
You represent that with color though, instead of like a style. Like I have a small addiction to V-neck t-shirts. And so I just do it like based on color, instead of like every day I want to wear a V-neck t-shirt. It doesn't change. Like I'm cool wearing that every day, but like one day maybe I want to wear the green one, and the next day the purple one. Well, I want to wear the purple one every day, but you know, like a pink one the next day, a white one, and maybe like you love color, so maybe you can do it with color instead of with the style of it.
Yeah. So, you know, singlets, like tanks, short sleeves, 3/4 sleeves, and then summer I don't need long sleeves. So, you know.
So yeah. Pick, it's, where are you at the moment? What country do you live in, Miriam?
Oh, I'm in Australia.
Okay, so pick yourself a 33 colour wardrobe. A 33 wardrobe for summer, with maybe 1 or 2 cardigans or a jumper or something, just in case it gets cool. And then just put everything else away. Just put it away.
What's the Australian difference between a jumper and a cardigan?
A cardigan
has buttons.
Wear on that, usually buttons at the top or buttons up at the front, and a jumper is like a sweater. Like
a pull over your head sweater.
Yes.
A sweater. A a jumper and a sweater are generally the same thing in Australia. So a sweater is knitted, a jumper is usually knitted, and a sweatshirt is like your leisure suit stuff.
Yep.
And a cardigan can be either, but they're always open at the front and can be buttoned.
Okay.
All right, we'll get you there, Sarah. We'll have you speaking Australian in no time.
Unrelated, but that helps. Yeah, that helps my bilingualism.
Yeah, yeah. Miriam, the part of this is because what we've done is we've come straight up against these senses of identity with you, who you actually present yourself to, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you've called this in at a beautiful time because it's just right for you because you're just here. So my suggestion is be gentle on yourself, drink the water. You don't have to throw anything away. But remember I said for me what I found was I was being these different people. And in sticking to my capsule wardrobe, it started to integrate all my different parts together. So it became more me.
Yeah.
All right. And I'm just going to stop this recording now.
Yep.